Welcome to the Emisarios Unidos de Luz channel. If you enjoy this near-death experience story, consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Now let's start with the story. When I was 13 years old, I had an encounter with angels during an NDE. Betting my uncle that I could swim 3 lengths of the pool without taking a breath, I remember gradually becoming indifferent to the goal of reaching the far end of the pool on the 3rd lap. I began to feel as though I was dreaming, and in that dream, I was still swimming. Suddenly, I became very alert as I felt as though I was being drawn upward and propelled forward at high velocity through a long and dark pipe by some unseen force. I noticed a bright light at the far end of the pipe, and then suddenly I was outside, floating about 20 feet above the swimming pool. I felt weightless, and although it was a hot and humid day, the weather felt pleasant. Everything looked brighter but was illuminated with a soft light. I could also see the horizon very clearly, and it seemed as if a curtain was lifted to reveal the beautiful view. Looking down, I saw my body lying near the edge of the pool, while concerned people approached from all directions. As a female lifeguard tried to resuscitate my unconscious body, I was able to hear the thoughts and feelings of the people gathered. "Hey guys, I'm okay," I tried to reassure them, but no one was able to hear me. I then became aware of the presence of a being of immense stature as he stood beside me. The being shone brightly with light that emanated from his form, and as my body assimilated the light that he exuded, I could feel his profound love and concern. When I focused my vision more closely, I could see that he was light itself. "You must go back. It is not your time yet. There are many duties you must complete. You will be back here in due time. Now prepare yourself to go back," he lovingly commanded. "No, I want to stay here," I replied. It was so liberating to be outside of my body that I had no desire to return to it. I became aware of music whose volume was so low that it didn't hinder my ability to hear what the light being was saying. The being, which I eventually came to realize was an angel of the divine, said, "You must return. It is not your time yet. You must return to your body." Compelled by the seriousness of his tone, and by my intuitive sense of the importance of returning to my body, I gradually accepted my inevitable return. When I looked down, I could see the lifeguard and one other person were busy trying to resuscitate my body. I then looked towards the sun to realize that the world was filled with a bright light, ancillary to the light of the sun. I was trying to examine that light when suddenly I felt myself being pulled downward towards my body. After reuniting with my body, I was rushed by an ambulance to a local hospital for a more thorough examination. In the weeks and months that followed the NDE, driven by my longing to leave my body once again, I prayed every night, hoping the angel would return and show me how to leave my body voluntarily. It was 2 years later when I was closing my eyes to take an evening nap that suddenly the room filled with light. Lying there with my eyes open, I watched as the center of that light became denser and more dispersed to form a light cloud. My initial apprehension was soon overcome by the endless love and joy that filled my entire body. "Did you come to take me with you?" I asked the angel who was looking directly at me. "No, it isn't your time yet. You have a lot of work to do here. Your destiny demands much more. I came here to fulfill your dream. It is time for you to learn how to leave your body by simply using your own will," he said. The angel then proceeded to give me step-by-step instructions. "Give me your hand," he commanded. I gave him my hand, but I later realized that it wasn't my physical hand that I gave him. Suddenly, I was outside of my body, and as before, I felt alert, refreshed, and joyful. That night was the beginning of many adventures with angels in the spiritual realm. In fact, that was then that my spiritual journey with the angel Lamdiel began. It was during those out-of-body journeys that I received his lessons and guidance, and through his advice, I was inspired to begin volunteer work. Lamdiel also taught me about our existence in the universe, the origins of humanity on Earth, the inner reality of matter, and concepts that contradicted what I was learning in science at school. He even showed me the future of humanity. "Today I have a very important message for you," he said on one occasion. Suddenly, we were high in space, looking down upon the Earth, and I felt a great excitement and love for the planet pervade my being. It was then that Lamdiel, the angel of the divine, gave me the following message to share: "You, the human species on Earth, have come a long way in your evolutionary process, and, soon, you are going to enter a new era in your lives, which is the next and major step in your evolutionary process. I have already spoken to you about the concept of advanced life forms. The human being is, in reality, a hierarchical composition of life within life. In other words, more advanced life forms emerge from the harmonious interaction of their fundamental constituent life forms. Let's explore it in more detail. It is important because understanding this concept will help you grasp the destiny of humanity. You know that a human being is a hierarchical life form complex, where each macroelement or macro complex is composed of sub-elements or sub-complexes, smaller life forms or particles. Your body's cells are an example of a macro complex. These cells are also made up of smaller complexes or particles, which are imbued with life, even though they are not considered alive by scientists. You know these macro complexes as proteins and amino acids, and they in turn are composed of even simpler life forms, molecules as they are so named by your scientists. These life forms are arranged in a specific code, creating the proteins and the living cells of your body, which, in turn, create the human body. This is not the root of the hierarchy, however, as these molecules are based upon the arrangement of even smaller elements which you know of as atoms. Atoms are considered by Earth scientists as the foundation of all physical matter, yet the atoms themselves are made up of even smaller elements, the subatoms, and the living or the non-physical element of the atom, which are the minuscule spirit integrals of the atom. Atoms are themselves composed of subatoms. Subatom 7 is made up of subatom 6, and so on, all the way down to subatom 1. The subatom 1, together with the life energy or spirit elements at the infinite level, constitute the basic foundation of matter and life in the universe. If you have followed the hierarchical composite structure of life within life, you may have noticed that a single person is now one of the most advanced life forms on Earth. However, humankind has not reached the end of this evolutionary process. Just as the cells in your body collectively form the human organism, the consciousness of each individual on Earth unites in spirit to an ever greater degree, ultimately propelling the human energy matrix into a higher tier within the hierarchy of life that defines the human. Much like the subtle energy links that connect the cells in your body, there exist subtle energy links between individuals, the intrinsic nature of which is divine love. Because divine love is their essence, these links are, in fact, stronger than an individual's personal needs or even their physical life. As these energy links are increasingly prioritized, each individual effectively contributes a greater portion of their total energy to them. As a result, a more advanced energy complex, one that integrates matter and spirit, will emerge, forming the next, grander, more evolved human. On Earth, a growing number of humans are searching for something to fill their deepening sense of spiritual emptiness. This emptiness often drives them to seek fulfillment through spiritual or metaphysical pursuits. It is partly why people form or devote themselves to religions and cults. Either way, this spiritual void compels individuals to bond emotionally, mentally, and spiritually with one another, creating the fertile ground for humanity's next great evolutionary event. At present, humanity is in the process of forging stronger connections with its fellow beings. Though this transformation unfolds in unseen ways, sensitive individuals can perceive its effects across the planet, particularly in the emergence of an ever-strengthening collective superconscious mind. Technological advancements influence humanity far more than initially assumed, shaping individuals both consciously and unconsciously, consciously through advanced communication and computerized technology, and unconsciously through the expansion of radio, television, and other wave transmissions. These technologies will serve to energetically link humans, forming an immense energy network that further unites humanity into a single unconscious and superconscious mind. This stage is a prerequisite for the next major evolutionary leap. Your planet is alive. Both Earth itself and every life form upon it possess their own spirit, and the planet is in constant communication with your soul. Your evolution is intertwined with the evolution of the Earth. The living species on this planet represent its unfolding evolution, but the most advanced among them are human beings. Just as the most developed nerve cells govern the most advanced functions of the human body, particularly at the bonding sites of the human soul, humans are responsible for the planet's most advanced functions. This process is analogous to the one through which the souls of individual cells unite to create a greater life form, such as a plant, animal, or human. The newly united, energy-bonded humans will connect to a far greater spirit, one that will coordinate all human lives within this new, unified complex of humanity. This spirit will guide humanity's evolution even further, propelling it toward the higher frontiers of the universe. Many planets in the universe that have undergone similar evolutionary advancements are waiting to communicate with you. Although this might seem strange at first, upon deeper reflection, it is not so different from how an embryo longs for a soul to bond with it, integrating a higher life form into its existence. In much the same way, your cells once needed your soul to help them fulfill their own evolutionary purpose, an innate drive imprinted in every subatomic particle and in the fundamental and foundational living elements of their being. Your cells took a significant step in their evolutionary journey. They bonded with a greater soul, your soul, to create you, a far more advanced life form than any of them could exist as individually. This transformation profoundly enriched their existence. Their lives were completely changed, they became stronger, more enlightened, and filled with love and fulfillment. They became part of a greater life form, one with a greater soul that filled the emptiness within their tiny spirits. This was a major step in the evolutionary process, a step that is merely one part of the grand unification of all life in the universe. After all of humanity unites, the humans on Earth will take the ultimate evolutionary step, they will bond with the greater spirit, he explained. I felt a surge of excitement. Who is that greater spirit? I asked. The angel smiled, then answered slowly. It will be a powerful, high-intensity spirit from the third level of existence, the level of forces. This spirit will bond with all of humanity on Earth, creating a new super-entity, one that will profoundly and permanently transform human life for the better. This immense spirit is already well known to humanity. Many people, without realizing it, are already yearning to unite with him. They consciously pray for his guidance and love him. On some deep level, all people on Earth already know him. Whether they follow an established religion or not, in times of great need, most humans recognize his presence. They call him God, Elohim, Yahweh, Allah, the Heavenly Father, and many other names, he said.